Yeah. No, I get my contacts warmed up.
He's been in wine country.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
No, I was driving a lot.
3, 2, not drinking enough.
Good morning. Welcome back to the program. Sipping a little coffee right here from Mountain Grind Coffee. Sorry, let me start that one over because it's Rocky Mountain Roastery. I worked back to last year on that one.
Coffee sponsor is.
Yeah. I was supposed to say Rocky Mountain Roastery, not Mountain Grind Coffee.
It's okay. Ready, fire. Ready, fire.
Good morning. Welcome back to the program. I got a hot cup of Joe from Rocky Mountain Roastery right there in Fraser. But big thanks to the Granby Chamber of Commerce. Granby's a beautiful town. It's kind of the hub of our Grand County wheel here. You got great access to the Rocky Mountain National Park, Winter Park Ski Resort, Granby Ranch is right there. You got Mavericks Green Chili and an incredible Ace Hardware. Not to mention, I think 2 golf courses right in Granby. It's
2 golf courses.
You're golfing all summer long, so it's a great location. And I'm hanging out today with Jamie Wolter, and Jamie, you are Granby Ranch's Director of Mountain Operations.
Correct. Yeah.
And we'll talk a little bit about Granby Ranch as the show goes on here. But first, let's cover an applicable subject for the time of year, and that's Avalanche.
Sure.
Avalanche danger, and not just the hockey team, but the realities.
Yeah.
So,
right.
So what's going on out there? I know we're getting some warm temperatures. We're getting some heavier snowfalls now that we're kind of past that February slump. And so what's going on in Avalanche world?
Well, we've had a very unusual winter with a ton of snow and some really warm temperatures, and really unusual for Grand County. We've had a couple of rain on snow events. Mm-hmm. We had rain on snow in early January and then again in February, and it's just almost unheard of for Grand County. And we got to remember that those buried rain layers are sitting in the snowpack and could come back and bite you later on.
So, in layman's terms, the rain's going to kind of create a sheet of ice that the snow is now sitting on? Is that kind of the idea?
That is definitely the idea, or that it created a sheen or a sliding layer for future layers. That's what we would call a persistent weak layer in the snowpack, that as we get more depth, you got to be thinking about what happened back earlier in the season and could it come get you while you're out there playing right now.
Now, Jamie, you do a fair amount of shredding in the backcountry, is that correct?
I do, yes, I do.
And so you're not just a doer, you're also kind of a resident expert. You've taught some classes.
I've taught a bunch of classes.
Safety very well.
I've been working in the avalanche industry for 29 years. I love recreating in the backcountry, and I want to keep doing it for a long time. I've had my share of close calls, and I want to be able to keep doing it into my old age. I don't want to, I'd like to not ever get caught again. I hope that's the case.
You hear the news stories every year, and it's a terrifying experience no matter where you're at, just thinking about.
For sure. And there was an incident just last week or 10 days ago or so over outside a Steamboat in the Flat Tops Wilderness area with a couple of guys on, they're calling them snow bikes, but it's what I think most people know as a timber sled, and it's allowing people to get into places that those timber sleds, because of the lightweight, high horsepower, are able to go places even snowmobiles can't get.
Okay.
Very sad deal. 2 guys out there, and quite a series of events where they got caught and the one guy got buried and perished, and super sad.
Yeah.
Super sad.
Unfortunately, we hear those stories. I mean, every year to 2 years we're hearing stories locally.
Yeah, I mean, for sure it happens.
Unfortunate reality, and it's that time of year as well. There's a lot of ski bums in town for a season. They've been skiing the resort all season. Let's go get something new and more exciting. And so, what are some opportunities people have to go educate themselves before they head out there and just go hit Berthoud Pass or whatever?
For sure, getting on the Colorado Avalanche Information Center website, checking the daily hazard forecast.
And what is the website?
It is CAIC.
We're going to flash it right on the bottom of the screen.
Something like that.
We'll have it flashing.
It's flashing below. But there's great information on there. It talks about the current hazard, the current problem, what your concern should be today, or on any given day that you look at it.
It's your weather report for the current day on
It's your weather report and your avalanche forecast for the day. And I would highly recommend that anytime you want to go out into the backcountry that you read that forecast in the morning. And even, if you're not going to go out, it's good to read it a few days before a planned trip and get a feel for the trend of the hazard that's happening.
And how about,
now.
Obviously you don't want to go out without being properly equipped,
For sure, you definitely want to have...
How often can you find classes to go take so that you can kind of get the 101 of what you're doing?
For sure, you can find classes through, I believe it's Colorado Rocky Mountain School over out of Estes Park, but they have actually been running a couple of classes in conjunction with Grand Huts Association up at the Broom Hut.
Oh.
And they've done a couple, I don't know if there's any continuing, but a really cool idea for a class where you stay in the hut for the weekend and do a class right outside of the hut, which is really
weekend,
cool.
Which is a great experience. You get kind of the best of all worlds there.
Yeah, and you're living it. You're living right there in the heart of it.
So what's the report on Berthoud Pass? How's the shred up there?
I went out this morning with my wife, and a couple inches of new, but it skied just over boot top in a place I'd rather not share with everybody.
Yeah, right. And for those who don't know, Berthoud Pass is our incredible backcountry place, which I don't know, 15 years ago was an actual operating resort, or was it longer ago now than that?
The last of the operation there was in 2003. It was 2 winters as a snowcat skiing operation. So 2001, 2, and 2, 3. And then before that, it was a ski area for a very long time.
Just
and a really cool ski
terrain.
area. Yeah,
incredible. It's still fun to go every once in a while, bump into an old Berthoud Pass ski map, trail map, and get to see the runs, because it's still there, but you got to work for it now. So.
You do, but it's worth every bit of effort.
And any last things that you need to know before you go when you're heading out to go ski in the backcountry?
Man, have the gear, have the knowledge, have a knowledgeable partner, and be safe. You want to get to do it again tomorrow.
And check in with any ski shop in town. I mean, a lot of the people around town will give you kind of a one-on-one, or can even rent some beacons and backcountry gear to take with you.
For sure. And check out the Know Before You Go program on the Colorado Avalanche Information Center website. It's got a really cool little video and some great info on rescue and beacon rescue and shovel technique and some other stuff like that that's really important for folks getting out there.
Well, awesome, Jamie. Appreciate all the information. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk a little more about Granby Ranch. What's going on out there? All lifts are turning. It's a great winter, and the snow is finally flying again for us. And cool. Later in the show, we'll talk a little more about a special event they do, which is getting bigger and bigger each year, which is the downhill bike race.
Yeah, the
Winter
Meltdown.
Downhill bike race, which I think is pretty incredible. So stick around. We'll be back in a moment, hanging out with Jamie Wolter at the Granby